Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover what is honestly a completely overlooked career hack. You see, the fastest way to be perceived as a senior engineer isn't actually about racking up more certifications or memorizing endless documentation. Nope. It's all about how clearly and calmly you communicate during a high-stakes incident. So today, we're going to completely transform the way you write ticket updates and escalations.
Just think about the glaring contrast between a typical junior panic message and a highly structured professional update. A message that just says, "We are looking into it," tells the customer absolutely nothing. Actually, it's worse than nothing. It kind of projects a sense of being totally overwhelmed. But a detailed, structured update, that instantly projects confidence. It answers the customer's unasked questions and proves, without a doubt, that you are in total control of the situation.
So, here's the mindset shift. I want you to think of English communication during an outage, not as some unpredictable art form, but literally as a structured formula. Just like writing a function in code, there are expected inputs and expected outputs. When you structure your language logically, stakeholders stop panicking and they start trusting your technical expertise.
And that brings us to the absolutely crucial 5-part incident update formula. Mastering this ensures you give stakeholders exactly what they need every single time. You just state what happened, who is impacted, what we currently know, the specific actions we're taking, and exactly when they're going to hear from us next. If you skip any of these, you're practically inviting a flood of follow-up questions. But hit all 5, you instantly buy your engineering team the quiet time they need to fix the actual problem.
Now, this next point is massive. Impact over internals. Look, customers really don't care about internal jargon like a GC pause or a shard replication failure. They only care that their checkout is failing. So talk in symptoms, not systems. Describe exactly what the customer is seeing on their screen and save all that technical trivia for the internal postmortem later. Okay, let's stock your mental library with what we call professional power phrases. When the pressure is on, you really shouldn't be trying to invent the perfect sentence from scratch. You can literally just copy and paste these modular phrases right into your tickets to sound instantly professional. It's all about having pre-approved, highly confident language ready to deploy at a moment's notice. And remember this, honest uncertainty beats fake ETAs every single time. When stakeholders are breathing down your neck, it is so tempting to just throw out a random timeline to get them off your back. Don't do it. Saying unknown at this time, while firmly committing to a next update time, builds massive trust. It shows you value accuracy way more than just appeasing someone in the moment.
Right, so let's see how this structured communication translates over to escalations, because eventually you're going to hit a technical wall and you'll need help. But escalation is not about complaining or pointing fingers. In a healthy engineering culture, escalation is simply widening ownership so the work can move forward. It's taking responsible action to clear a path when a fix is blocked.
And just like our ticket updates, escalating to a senior engineer requires a strict one-paragraph structure. By following the simple 4-step flow, stating the issue, the business impact, what you've already tried, and what exactly you need, you give a senior leader all the context they need to make a solid decision in under 30 seconds.
Now, depending on the severity, whether it's a medium priority bug or an urgent P1 outage, your automated escalation paths ensure the right stakeholders are engaged in real time. This kind of workflow maps out exactly how your structured escalation message gets routed to the proper tier of support, meaning you don't have to frantically hunt down a manager in Slack.
Moving on to fixing common English bugs, the 3 mistakes non-native speakers make in tickets. Okay, let's dive into a quick live code review of sorts. For a lot of folks working in global tech teams, English might be your second or even third language. So let's squash the 3 most common linguistic bugs that might be unintentionally holding back your professional image. Our first fix, tense confusion. A super common habit is translating directly from a native language and writing, "I work on this feature now." But in professional English, you always want to use the present continuous, "I am working," when talking about actions happening right this second. It immediately makes your updates sound so much smoother and more natural. Next up is a classic piece of misused office jargon. The word revert technically means to return to a previous state, like, reverting a codebase to an older commit. It definitely does not mean to reply to a person. So we need to refactor "I will revert you" to the much more accurate "I will get back to you." And here's one where directness can actually be mistaken for rudeness. A phrase like "give me access" sounds like a pretty strict command. But by wrapping your request in modal verbs like "could you please grant me access," you soften the whole translation.
It's just a tiny syntax tweak, but it completely transforms your tone from demanding to collaborative.
All right, live support scenario, payment outage synthesis. Now, let's actually put all of these formulas and power phrases together in a real-world, high-pressure scenario. We're going to look at this in action, right inside our text editor, so you can see exactly how a senior engineer handles a critical event.
So imagine this, you're on call. Out of nowhere, a critical payment API starts failing. Customers are throwing 500 errors left and right, a massive enterprise client is waiting for an update, and your SLA is seriously at risk. We need to draft a crystal clear 3-sentence client update in under 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go.
We kick off our formula with the what happened and who is affected. Notice how we focus on the exact symptom the customer is seeing on their screen, the unable to process payment error. We are totally ignoring the back-end API failure for now and focusing purely on the user's experience.
Next, we drop in our pre-approved power phrase to cover what we know and what we are doing. Stating we are currently investigating the root cause projects total calm. It tells that enterprise client that the right people are actively, hands-on keyboard, working on the problem.
Crucially, and I can't stress this enough, we end this update with a firm commitment to the next update time. We don't have a fix yet, so we definitely aren't guessing a fake ETA. We are simply setting a boundary and an expectation for when they'll hear from us next, using standard UTC time.
Put it all together, and bam, we've got a perfectly refactored, senior-level incident update. It is concise, completely free of unnecessary internal jargon, and perfectly ready to send to the client. This is exactly what buys your engineering team the breathing room they need to troubleshoot.
But wait, let's say the troubleshooting has hit a wall and we need to widen ownership. We have to escalate. So we start our Slack message to the on-call senior engineer by clearly stating the issue and its operational impact right up front. Notice there's no, hey, how are you, small talk here. We go straight to the business risk.
Now notice how this next block builds instant credibility. We briefly reference our previous attempts, we check logs, we tested a rollback. This proves we actually tried to solve it ourselves before just crying for help. Then we state exactly why we're blocked and why the SLA is threatened.
Finally, we make a highly specific ask. We don't just say, help us please. We use our polite modal verb, could you please advise, and we attach a clear, hard deadline to the request, so the senior engineer knows exactly when this decision has to be made for work to move forward.
Look at this cohesive, one-paragraph escalation. It's beautiful, really. It completely removes emotion from what is otherwise a super stressful situation. It provides exactly what the senior engineer needs to know to make a high-stakes decision, and it keeps the incident resolution perfectly on track, all without assigning blame. So as you head back to your queues and your ticketing systems today, I want you to think about how structuring your language like code can completely transform your career. Which of these power phrases or structural formulas are you going to deploy first? Because once you master your communication, you're going to find that your seniority is recognized long before you ever even have to ask for a promotion. So what's your first move going to be?